Hello. It's that. It's a good time for me. It's a good time. Bad time for everyone else. Bad time for the Americans, the American people, not the ones that hold the power, not the billionaires, not the friends of the billionaires, but the actual people. Yep. So here we are on live on YouTube and TikTok. Just pausing for a moment for our American family, brothers, sisters, friends, counterparts on the other side of the world, just like our friends all over the world, everywhere else, who have been told by their government, by Congress, by the Supreme Court, what they can and can't think. You're not allowed to think this. Okay? You're not allowed to think this. Whatever it is. Whatever TikTok's showing, it doesn't want. The corporate controlled Supreme Court and the Congress don't want the US citizens seeing certain things. So that is being told what you cannot think, what you are allowed to think. In the land of the free, in the land of the freedom to carry arms, and yeah, with the land of the First Amendment. Crazy, isn't it? Yeah. And by banning the app, I don't know what they expect is going to happen. The government over there. Anyway, just because I'm in the UK and I'm British does not mean I can't spare a thought for my once free. Never really. They used to be free. They actually, US history, they broke free from the UK. They fought a war, the American Civil War, didn't they? And they broke free from Britain. And now look at them. The US has become Britain. They've become their own worst ideological nemesis. Literally, their government is their own enemy, and they're just realizing this now because of the ban on TikTok. Being told what you can think in the land of the free. Madness. I'm just, my heart goes out to them. It's a really sad, angering, frustrating day. Even for me, I'm in Britain. It's not banned here, but I still feel them. So I wish any Americans watching all the best in getting it back. I hope you're able to get back this app, TikTok, because it is the best. It's the best algorithm. No one's even matched the interface, even just the user interface, the way that works. Reels and shorts have got their own take on it, but it's not as good. Not as many people see your content. There's not as much potential. I am a massive fan of TikTok, and the US has not come up with anything to match that. It's banning it, and then it's like, just use one of our many other apps that we're okay with you using. And their time is gone. Their golden era is past. Insta, FB, X, even Threads, the golden era is done for them. A new app came along, and just because it's in China, it's not even in China, it's hosted on US servers. Just because they don't own it, they won't allow it. Anyway, this is a music channel. about making music, so let's make some music. So this don't really know how to proceed. What does it need? Oh yeah, so I was doing this bit. I think that bass might be too loud though. Compared to, we need to look at it, don't we? Yeah, it's way. Sounds a bit dry though. Just me whistling. Something a bit. That's the thing about using synths versus traditional instruments, is it can be used as a great effect to sound like alien to most sounds, and I think that's makes you feel a certain way. You know, if you hear a violin or a human voice especially, but a violin or one of a string instrument, you know it's a string, and a horn sounds like a horn. You know that it's thanks Green Sweatbee for following. You know that it's of this world. It even sounds real. You know, there's an acoustic energy from miking up like a trumpet or a violin. But when it's like a completely synthetic sound created by a synthesizer in a computer, it's making it sound real is really hard. So it just sounds alien. And I don't know what feeling. I love that feeling, whatever that is. It just sounds like not of this world, and I love things that are not of this world. I always have done. But I'm just realizing that there's a clear distinction between the two things. As a music producer, it's like a revelation. And so everything here sounds like, I mean, that's a rim shot. The drums are quite, you know, recognizable as kind of almost real world things. But these other sounds, maybe not. But when to use an alien sound and when to use a real sound, like maybe it helps that there's a contrast. It helps that there are some real ones and then some. I've heard, yeah. That's yeah. It's a funny joke. It's a funny joke that. Here's the real sound. So yeah, rim shots. I've been really getting into rim shots recently. It's been like my new special interest, kind of within the music special interest. Cheers. I was just saying, Adam, The TikTok ban. It's just gutting, puzzling, and I feel from all our American counterparts out there. I like what they've done in protest, but do you reckon? I hope it does. I hope that they can get it back, because it's pretty tyrannical what the US are doing. Like, considering they're the land of free speech and the right to bear arms, and the First Amendment is actually nuts. That they're telling people what to think based on national security. Like everything else, so many laws, you just get them through saying, "No, it's for national security." But I think what they really mean by national security is protect the corporations that lobby them and pay them. In it, if fascist government bans apps, I mean, it's funny because TikTok's banned in China, isn't it? But not in Pakistan. But it is in India, and I don't know the full story behind the one in India, like how long it lasted, but so that's, yeah. So be interested to see how many of the people I follow, the Americans I follow, actually just get around it, carry on. I hope they have. I mean, even the mainstream. Well, I think it was CNN might have said something like a few ideas of how to get around it. I hope they do. I hope they all just bypass it and show them who is the boss, the people. I hope they just say, yeah, you take the piss. Like, we're just going to find a way around it. But being taken off the app stores is like, it stops the average person, like someone who's doesn't have any money but has a phone and a Wi-Fi connection can go on TikTok. But as soon as you need VPN, you kind of need money to get on there, don't you, for a decent fast one? Even if it's just a few quid, some people just don't have it, do they? You reckon? I mean, it sounds like there's a lot of... All right. It sounds like there's a lot of American propaganda about China, and people are going on Red Note and seeing the Chinese people say, you have to pay for healthcare, or comment was filtered. Comment was filtered. Was that a comment filtered? Grim. Yeah, I have seen weird things. I've discovered that since figuring this thing out, this little A sign appears next to some comments. You can click that and it sometimes reduces the confusion, because there were some weird things happening in the chat early on when I started live streaming. Red wall. No way. Yeah, oh, it's nuts. Can't be doing that. And then there's people who say, oh, well, if it gets banned over there, it'll get banned in the UK. And it's like, it's not as easy over here, I think, for that to do stuff like that. I think it's APAC, isn't it, who don't want... it's obviously Amazon and Meta shareholders who don't want their bottom line undercut by another app, especially a foreign one. But APAC, the Israel lobby, doesn't like how easy it is to say things like "Free Palestine" compared to Meta and X. Actually, you can be pretty full on But X has banned the free speech platform. X has banned lots of pro-Palestine accounts, so they're a massive hypocrite, not to be trusted either. Is it TikTok? I know the CEO is Singaporean. Yeah, free speech. That's all that's happened, really, isn't it? Yeah, mainly that's what has happened. The enablism, enabled just the horrible people to say things which would used to get banned on TikTok and Twitter. Yeah, they used to. It was against it's hateful conduct, and there are laws in this country and the UK about hate speech because it's basically just like it's bullying. And there are laws against it, and it's like people don't generally are open even for free speech. But if you say all this protected category are this, and you're being mean, then it's like we don't want like this hate spread. This is how the far right rise up, and that's why there are laws against it. Even though there still is, of course you can stand on Hyde Park Corner or anywhere and say this shit, but the police might turn up and say we don't like people being mean in this country. And they'd probably warn you, wouldn't they? They'd say, get down from your soapbox, please, or we're going to have to arrest you. And it's like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with free speech, but don't be an absolute horrible Nazi enabler. We defeated them in World War II, so we need some way of making sure we don't have to go to war again against Nazis. Like, surely it's just common sense, isn't it? Keep the app and lock them up for hate speech. Yeah, with the laws in the own country, and then we do that, and then Musk says, "Look, they're banning people for social media posts." And he's not telling the whole story, is he? Because if you look into that story, have you seen it? He threatened. This guy was on Telegram making these social media posts, and one of the things he did was threaten the police, which in text, probably not a good idea. Probably might come back on you, that one. And the other thing he did, which Musk didn't mention at all, was he threatened to hang someone. So yeah, he's in jail. I think he's in jail now. I don't know if he's in jail now or he was sent to jail over social media posts, and because he broke the law. He didn't just post on social media. He posted stuff that will get you banged up, like nuts in it. Absolute buns. Hina Pulka. With your cat face. And Hina Pulka's not even heard this beat yet, I don't think. You've been in a cell for less, yeah. Have you? Well, you're not, you're not a far right nutter, are you? Protecting drinking water. Yes, I do know that. Yeah. Yeah, for that. Yeah, me too. I was in a cell for that. What a mad thing that was. Not true. But you are a nutter. Yeah. Maybe just a bit. Original mad nutter. But yeah, you did the right thing. You did the right protecting drinking water. I mean, who wouldn't? Like, we're going to poison your water, like all your water. Do you want us to do that? No. What would I drink? Bottled water? No, no, fuck off. Don't play that. Yeah. Legal VST. Hi, how are you doing? It's just me and Ginger Dad at the moment, reminiscing about the times we got locked up, protecting the water, doing the right thing, not doing it, not causing harm, preventing harm, which is what the law is supposed to do. The law is supposed to. The law is there to try and prevent people from being harmed by other people. So we had to be the ones to try and enforce the law, weirdly, even though we're told not to. We're told to leave it to the official law enforcement. But there is no law to protecting water, apparently. So we had to do it. Hi. Good morning, Toby. Is it morning? Is it morning where you are? I forgot where you are now. Good. Yeah, this video started out as a glass to the, well, not glass, but a brew to the Americans, because they have to endure a tyrannical government that tells them what they can and can't think. Imagine that, in the land of the free, the land of guns and First Amendment. You're not allowed to look at this app anymore. It's crazy, isn't it? It makes me so angry. Any kind of free speech thing. It's just nuts. Nuts it is. And in my back, I'm saying it's, they in an ego think they can just smash it. Congress, lawmakers. Oh, it's a problem we can control. Just ban it. Not knowing that if they solve that problem, it will create at least one, if not multiple, much bigger problems. And I think that's kind of what's happening. But they don't want to backtrack because they lied. They lied saying it's a national security concern. It isn't. Unless you consider national security the security of the corporations, Israel, blah blah blah. I can't. I'm so mad. I can't. That's just all I'm talking about right now. Yeah. Go red. Yeah. Well, I'm trying to find alternatives to X and Meta, because I know Meta has. No, actually, I've not checked, but I think Meta lobbied, or Zuckerberg, under the pressure from his investors, was in a government consultation, whatever it's called, promising that, yeah, if you ban TikTok, all your investments will go up. So we need to make sure that doesn't happen, and yeah, try and migrate away from US controlled social media, because we've been using it for decades now. There are alternatives. Like, I just signed up to Mastodon today because I like Twitter. I like the way that works. So Mastodon is like German, and it's open source and not for profit. I don't know who owns or runs the not for profit, but it ticks a few boxes. Not American, not owned by a for-profit corporation in America. So yeah, just might as well start a profile there and start a following again from scratch. Start getting my news there instead, just in case. The doubling down because because Luigi, yeah. I kept forgetting who Luigi was. People would mention Luigi, and I'm like, oh, Luigi. And then you just see like memes and be like, oh yeah, that guy. Oh no, I think I got asked on live stream. What do you think of um, the murder of the CEO? And I just was like, well, I asked a question back. I forgot what it was. It was a good question. It was just like, do you think the people are happy um, having the house taken away to pay for an essential life-saving operation? You know, or when you have to pay, when your health insurance provider is supposedly there to cover your costs, but only covers 70% of it, but the cost of the operation is like $50,000 or something. It's like, it's ridiculous. Their system is ridiculous. Reform over here, the Tories, they all want to bring in private, and it's the one thing I'll always say. I've been on here the other night, so talking about the NHS, how we need to oppose its privatisation at every moment. Anyway, this is a music live stream. CEO Pew Pew. Yeah. I just don't know what to do. Like if I lost TikTok now, I'd be so I'd be so charged. Um, I already am, but it's like having a bit high limb cut off. It feels like, I don't know. It's just sense. You got. I thought Twitter, when Twitter first came out and started growing, I thought it was amazing. I thought this is the most efficient way to sort of get like a cross section of the world. Facebook is more about profiles of family and friends, but Twitter was more like, there was nothing quite like it because it's obviously changed now, but you could see what people were thinking all over the world. But then TikTok came along, and the amount of profiles you can get through in a very short time means you can just see like so much of the world. It doesn't want to show you just cat memes like fucking reels and people smashing into things like in shorts or whatever. It shows you people saying things, and you can tell whether they're authentic or not. You can tell. If you don't, you swipe. So powerful. And the next, if TikTok does get banned and Red Note, and then they try and ban every single one of these types of apps, it'll only be a matter of time till someone comes up with one that is not bannable in some way. It's a software problem, and developers love that shit. Especially angry developers who like free speech, you know. The tyrannical US government are just clueless and out of touch, and they're asking for it. This could hurt them. This could tip the balance. You know, their forever growth economy that just never crashes. It could crash. Something could make it crash. I wonder what it could be. It could be this. All right, back to music. Thank you, Legal BSC. Concatenator. I used to use the word concatenate. I think it was in Java. I learned Java, a little bit of Java. There's a term called concatenate. It's when you join things together. I think that's what the word concatenate means. So it's like morphing, makes sense. But in a different way. Description. There's no description. KVR is the go-to. KVR has been around for so long. It's where I go now. Like only recently, when I search for a plugin, and they're on the front, they're on the front page of Google, and you've got every plugin like reviewed, a bit of info about them. granular micro replacer. Let's have a quick look.
Exit out, and it'll recreate the point map.
Oh, thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. The Ginger Dad. Used to live with the Ginger Dad. Long time ago. It wasn't that long ago, but yeah. Yes. Shit. Oh yeah, that may be a good place. Yeah, I think you've got the place to do that actually. Yeah. I'll have a good live anyway. I'm not sure if I will. My time is limited tonight, but hope you have a good one, mate. Hopefully see you soon. Is that 6 years ago? I see. It's not that long. Yeah, politics stream, yeah. 6 years, yeah. That actually makes sense now, yeah, because we were in Moss Side like at least 3 years ago. It's probably like 4 years now. And then there was all that other stuff that came before. It's mad living there, wasn't it?
Now what you're hearing is the concatenator trying to recreate the beatboxing signal using samples from this Koto sample library. Let's say you want to spice this up a little bit. This is one of my favorite things that I like about working with concatenative synthesis. So wouldn't it be fun if, for instance, we added some action Foley? You can just drag and drop an entire other sample library right there. It takes a couple moments and then we're ready to go. So now you got the Koto in there, you've got Foley sounds in there, like explosions and debris and stuff. All right, now let's walk through what these different knobs do. Let's start at the very top, polyphony. Polyphony is how many samples are able to play at the same time. You know this word from music synthesis, samples before particles as an accuracy knob. The particle filter tends to take up a lot of CPU. So as you are raising this knob, keep an eye over here on this indicator, and right below it you have RAM usage. Turn it down, turn it back up. So if you find that there's any pops or clicks to hang on to a signal, it's by no coincidence the spect weight is also how much is the concatenator caring about pitch. If you really want concatenator to follow your pitch, you're going to want to turn the spect weight way up. Now, if you turn these down, it gets a little bit more random, but of course the characteristics like the rhythm remain in place. So playing with spect weight, amp weight, and stickiness, these three are the real heart of modulating the concatenator and getting a lot of different sounds out of it. Let's do a more interesting example. Of weight. So okay, a couple last things about this interface. Notice the center here when you hover over these dots, it doesn't give you the name of one audio file because these dots don't represent just one audio file. They represent these timbral clusters. And then up here, you'll see a particle reset in the corner. Remember earlier when I told you that this uses a particle filter, which is where the AI in this comes in. This is an old-fashioned AI technique, no neural networks. The particle filter is ultimately deciding what part of the corpus is being chosen. Every now and then you just think that like, oh, maybe this is not the right parts of the corpus, right? This is record on sale now at Datamine.
That's definitely. Thanks for that recommendation. I don't know what it is. Yeah, it's part of granular micro replacer. I reckon it's probably like it sounds like what do you call it? Like sort of a time stretch beat. Like so you put a beat in it, but then there's all these sprinklings of tiny little fragments of sound, which makes it sound really weird. I don't know what I'd use that for. it's probably best used like like really sparingly. I don't know. Just it depends, doesn't it? As an effect, like an effect that maybe like as a transition effect. So you've had you drop happens. I don't know if this would what dance music this would work for. It might work for some electronica, some like IDM kind of electronica, and your beat plays, and then after every 4 bars for 8 bars, not every 4 bars, just at the end. No, wait, it's a transition. So before it goes into the breakdown, there's just the beat could fade out and go. You could increase the sound of the concatenator, so it just gets more and more. So the original beat gets more. It's like distortion, but it's not as it is. It is distortion of the original beat, but what's really happening is all these tiny little sound fragments are coming in, and you could have that automated so it increases into and then bubbles into your breakdown. It'd be nice. It'd be a nice tool to have. Um, Even just for like throw a snare in there, just one snare every few snares, just a snare that goes. Yeah, there's nothing else. There might be things like this, but yeah, it's quite a unique idea for a plugin. I like it. Concatenator. Save hours of time spent editing samples by hand. Yeah, I think I'm kind of used to that if I want to get that effect. But this would save hours because there's so many little sounds, happy fragments happening there. That was definitely an effect that you just feed stuff into it and stuff comes out. Kind of want it. Yeah. How much was it? 119. Wait, so you said 0.0? Oh, 0.0. So I didn't think I'd be the kind of plugin. I do like looking at plugins. It is interesting. But I thought this. Well, I mean, this live stream has already gone into. No, not that. No. For now. This live stream's already gone into politics now. Like, we'll always talk about the NHS in the interests of like literally my health and my family's health and people who I know's health being like important. But also like plugins are really interesting. I mean, it's because I've got a set of plugins that I know and use, and I don't really want to add to them because I just want to use the ones and be restricted by the ones I've got. Because limits are good sometimes, but then something like this comes along and I'm like, oh, this is really interesting. And that is literally how I've found out about all the other plugins that I use is by going, oh, look, this is really interesting, like what it can do, like what a vocoder can do and stuff like that, you know. That's 0.0 Gumroad. A max patch for NMF based. What's NMF? Do you know what NMF is? NMF based. Could at least tell us this thing. If I look for NMF, it's not going to tell me in Google, is it? Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Maybe it is this. Non-negative matrix factorization. One of the most popular machine learning techniques for dimensionality reduction. I love it. 0.0.
What's up, everybody? This is Incanti, and welcome to my latest creation, 0.0. 0.0 is a max patch, so you need to have Cycling 74's max in order to run this, and you also need to install the externals Flucoma and HISS toolkit in order to get the...
Wait, will this run in Max for Live? Because it's saying Cycling 74, which is max.
to run properly.
I've always wondered that. I mean, I'm assuming because it's audio, it will run Max for Live, but I don't know.
And worry not, all that stuff is free other than Max, but the externals are free.
YouTube is blocked. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine YouTube being blocked? That would be bad, wouldn't it? For some reason, that isn't.
What's up, everybody? This is Incanti, and Skittles was recreated with bees buzzing in this result. Notice you can hear the chords.
Bees buzzing with Beatles Let It Be string.
The individual notes that make the chords, and then you can even hear the melody when it comes in. So in 0.0, we start...
It's kind of, yeah. Might be interesting for basses, actually.
Start with out of. We can either use...
Oops.
Some interesting sounds in there, all recorded in stereo. And I'm just going to take that whole folder and drop it right here under source folder. And remember, you could just use a single audio file, but when you drop a folder right here, it basically creates one audio file, one long buffer, by gluing together all of those individual samples. So now we have a target, and now this image was essentially really interesting to present that closer. But we're going to...
Legal VST, have you tried this one? And did you need Max? Could you use it in Max for Live within Ableton? Oh, right. No way. Oh, wow. Short movie. Wicked.
I'll bring it down to 20. Analyze
it. Is it published yet? Can we hear it? Or sound of electricity to the actor's voice. I bet that made like a pretty good robot voice, alien voice. No way. How else would you solve that though? If the director was like, yeah, we need this voice to sound like electricity. There's the ways of combining sounds at the moment, are my knowledge limited to obviously vocoder. Then there's where you basically use something like Soothe 2, but in Delta mode. Sidechained and in Delta mode, so yeah, instead of sidechaining and dipping all the frequencies of the other sound, it actually boosts them, and then you just solo it, so it just kind of has this different tonal quality. And then they're the two ways. You could do it with EQ as well, but it's harder. But yeah, there aren't many ways. My point is, there aren't many ways to actually combine the qualities of two sounds together. And it's something I do want to do. It's something I keep thinking, I know this is possible somehow, and then I try all the ways that I know, and I'm like, shit, it all sounds shit. Even though in my head I can hear this. Yeah, you can just mix them together, but obviously it's not the same. All right. Okay. Nice. That's great because you've got the sound of the cassette, a homemade microphone as well, onto a cassette. Oh, from a cassette player. Like it's sort of a cheap microphone. Oh yeah, I want to do when I've got a few achievements to make in this house to make room. I've got to sell loads of stuff. Mainly 3 boxes of vinyl. And to reward myself with that, I'm going to get my 2 snare drums out and record my own rim shots. And I have because I want to hear what my own rim shots sound like. I have a drumstick as well, and I have like 3 mics, but the mic that I'm interested in doing it with is attached to a cassette recorder that I bought years ago and barely used. I think it's before I got a smartphone, so it's like pretty old. And it's got a cassette in it, and I want to record the rim shots with that because it immediately will it'll take off the top end, add some hiss in its place, and sound a little bit, probably really wobbly. Actually, it's like a really cheap. It was a cheap voice recorder, and it's going to sound awful, but and lo-fi. And I think that's what I want my rim shots to be like. I'll do some with this good mic as well, but I love doing like recordings of stuff. Yeah, well, League of VST. I'd love to hear some of your sounds, sound effects.
And look at what's happening in the highs, the mids, the lows. Just gonna analyze all the way up the spectrum, and then choose a portion of the source that matches that part of the target. This number, when it's a low number, it takes twice as long to do the process. Even lower, that's another twice as long. So 124 is a pretty good standard. And then continuity takes however long that is. That's frames, basically. This is the definition of 1 frame. And it says, okay, we're going to fade up to that frame. So however many frames that is, 124 samples times 7. That is how long the segment is going to be when it the source that you do. T and this is the result. And the source sounds like. And remember what the source sounds like. What the target sounds like. And remember what the source sounds like. And this is the result. Wow, that actually came out really good. This is the most important part. Remember to press right after you have finished this super cool sound, and then repeat the process to make a whole bunch of loops that you can then use in your DAW to make cool music with.
Okay.
I'm going to send you off with a couple of excerpts of some music that I have made using this technique, and I hope that you enjoy these super secret previews because this album won't be coming out until next year.
That snare thing is like I think if there's a quick way to make to generate a lot of snares like that, got hair in my mouth, that's probably a time saver as well, because that kind of snare, which has like lots of other sounds around it, I don't mind creating them. It takes quite a long time of manual labour of getting it to sound just how you want it. But then when you duplicate it and have it for every snare, it kind of loses its impact when it's repeated lots of times. So if you could generate lots of them and pick your favourite 8 out of there and put them as your 8 snares in a row, and they all sound different, and they sound like they're morphing from one thing to another. But you still got some control of it. That would actually be a time saver for that kind of sound making. So yeah, you've got me thinking there, Legal. Especially for, I mean, even for this, doing for 140 stuff, I'm doing everything at 140 beats per minute. And like, say, for snares, or even like rhythmic, like I've got some, say if I've got this really swingy hi-hat pattern, dead high up, if I could then throw a few more high sounds in there that's kind of get triggered, but in that rhythm, just to thicken it up, that would be really useful. But this patch, as well as the plugin, has one drawback. Right, but I can work with that. Transients are easy to add in. I think well, I think they're easy to add in. It's the tail and the pre-tail. Oh, what's it called? The pre, with a snare with a pre. Someone on YouTube has made an app. Someone's made an app that you put it on a snare and you can load any sample that like does a reverse whoosh into the snare. It's got this mad name. Can't remember the plugin developer who did it. Snapback. Yes, I knew you'd know. I could rely on you, Legal VST, to know these answers. Yeah, is it a snapback snare or just a snapback? Yeah, that's the one. Well done, mate. I don't know why. Yeah, that would be a time saver as well if I had that app. But I don't know, would I add it to everything and it would change my sound? I don't know. I don't mind doing that manually, but if I did do it manually to every snare, it would save time to have that as well. But Encanti. Yeah. Wait, was Encanti? Which one's Encanti? Did we already look at? No, we didn't. Encanti VST. All right. Oh, I see. Encanti is the plugin maker, right? Okay, so I might end up getting this right. I'm not downloading it right now. But yeah, I bet there'll be a time pretty soon where I'll actually go, I need that production. There we go. Got to categorize your bookmarks. Yeah, thanks for that. Great show. Like in this track, where would I use it? It'd be for little sounds like that. That's granulator, that one. Did you, Legal VST, did you know about Filter? What's it called? Filter Table by EXP. I love it, but because it's a bass sound, it's all out of phase in the sub. So either I remove the sub and put like a high pass it and put a sub in there, or just turn it down because it's like got some freaky waves, you know, sine waves phasing with each other creates some big waves, doesn't it? Down below, problematic waves. But I don't know. I feel like it sounds like little sheep, but I still like the sound of it. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, EXP filter table. Bought this one. It was on offer, 35 quid. I think it had just come out. Sound design. Where did I put this? I should just type it in, shouldn't I? Yeah, let's type it in. EXP. Drag that in. Freaky table, is it? I tried Freaky table, the free one. But I didn't find it as useful as this with its user interface. I love this interface so much. I have not tried dropping my own filter table on here yet. The PNGs, aren't they? Why is that? That's mad. So have you seen that? They are actual images. So I don't know if I can just drop. What are they called? Serum ones on there. That's the one. That's the one I've got. That's the one I'm using. Yeah. It's sick. Oh, look at these ones. I think they're not as useful. They just kind of sound noisy, these ones. But the ones that have like these shapes are quite nicely controllable and you can get kind of mad sounds. But I would like to put... I've not even tried all these yet, actually. Experimentals. Sinus 3. Experimentals. Sinus 3. Oh, you need some mid-frequency content, so let's grab... Oh no, wait. I think we could just grab this. Flip it. Sounds like a monster. Let's get modulator in the form of a shaper. It's a shaper that starts here. Let's drag. Let's map that to a table. Just to start with. Amount. Sounds good, doesn't it? I mean, it is because it's using a really steep filter notches that it sounds not like a normal... Most plugins don't have this many either notches going on, but it's the fact it, you know, it's highly controllable because it's just scanning this image. It's an image, so I need to get my own image. I think I might try the Terrapastel logo and put that in there and see what that sounds like, because you should imprint it onto the spectrograph if you look at it on the spectrograph, like an Aphex Twin kind of track. There's that. Won't it sound the same every time? Doesn't, does it? Why is that? It should be in line with the sequence. I need the info. One shot is loop. Oh, it doesn't tell you. One shot, what's that button? Trigger the shape with this button. No. Manual. You can manually do it. Okay, I think this, let's get rid of Shaper, because Shaper MIDI works better than this. I think what we need is just an LFO, do with an LFO, because I know an LFO will stick to the one to a bar. It'll start and end at the right place. So map to table again. Yeah, that sounds more reliable. Let's do a up. Down. No. Let's mess with some of these, because you can shift the frequency. It kind of squashes it a bit. Oh no, sorry, it just shifts it. You can even do the effects where you can do like, it's hard to see on this actually. You pause. It works similar to the way you can do this to wavetables in Serum, Signfold, where it, I think it mirrors the waveform and folds it and stuff. I don't know. Tuxpect. Shoot. Let's have a look at that one as well. Thanks, Perp One. Images, yeah. I've not tried putting any images in there yet, have you? The duck. Does sound like a duck, doesn't it? Duxpect. Experimental. Oh, look at that. Right. Okay. Missed this one. I was looking for alternatives and couldn't actually. Well, I think EXP filter table completely just took my attention, going, oh my god, this is too good. So I dismissed anything that might come after it. But yeah, this looks like It's taking a slice of an image. The black parts are, wait, how do I describe this? This is the frequency, and how light or dark it is the amplitude. So it's like taking a slice, like a good wavetable thing should. FFT frame is called. Yeah, it says that frequency. FFT frame. And here is what that looks like. So then it applies this filter, FFT filter, to your audio. Oh, that's quite comprehensive as well. It's got the rotate thing, it's got zoom as well. Contrast, you can change how light or dark it is. I think XB has the same one, but it's called different things. Drawing, not sure what that is. Direction of play, duration. Oh, so it's got its own beat sync. So has it got its own LFO? Alright, nice. That's pretty cool. A free one. Look at that.
It's about time you got here. Well, 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 it's about time you got here. Time you got here. Well, it's about time. Well, it's about time you got here. Well, it's about time you got here.
There's another way of combining sounds right there. I think that might be why I kind of got into the filter table as well, a little bit. If you can overlay, I don't know what I wanted to overlay. Wow, that is like a modern vocoder. There are also other settings here. High not. High not. What am I doing? Just one sec. Yeah, that's great. Right, I have to just get off for the time being. Oh, you gotta go as well. That's convenient. It's nice chatting legal, VST. Thanks for the ideas, and I do hope to hear your productions at some point. But yeah, these are awesome recommendations. Tuxpect, Incanti, 0.0, and the other one, the paid one, Concatenator. All really awesome. This one's mad. This one, yeah, nuts. But yeah, take care, mate. See ya. And this concludes the live stream. Thank you very much for watching.